you're stuck at home in quarantine. 5 o'clock, why not have a drink with me?
Hello everybody, good to see you today. Happy Monday. Been a bit of a hectic day and afternoon. The morning started off pretty quiet, but I feel like the last 2 hours I've been running around a little crazy with a little bit of frustration. So Helen had put in a Home Depot pickup order about the middle of last week, and it took a few days, I guess, for them to fill it. And then over the weekend, she got the email that it was ready for pickup, and it wasn't a lot of things, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 items, nothing big, just some random stuff that we need. Like we have a light switch downstairs in our bathroom that it's like one of the switches is for a vent fan, and it keeps you have to balance it right in the middle to get the vent fan to come on. It doesn't just work properly, so we want to swap that out. We needed some new light bulbs for our kitchen because we ordered the wrong ones on Amazon. So a couple of small things like that. And so I went out and I'm like, oh, okay, this afternoon I'll go and do it. And when I've done pick up at Target, it's works so well. You in the app you tell them when you're leaving your house, and then when you get there there's a specific place to park, and you hit the button, and then you tell them what kind of car you have, and they come right out, they put it in, they scan your phone, and it's done. And so I did that a week and a half ago, and it was super easy. It was no problem. Target has this figured out. However, Home Depot does not, clearly. So I was hopeful at first when I pulled up there, and there were lots of really clear, there's very clear signage about curbside pickup. So you walk in, there's a big sign this way, and then you go a couple aisles down the parking lot, and then there's another sign directing you this way. So really well signed. It's very hopeful at this point that this is going to be a nice, smooth, easy process. But then the first issue is they have sort of 5 numbered spots set aside for curbside pickup, and all of those were full. So I kind of did a lap and then found the nearest spot to that I could. And then in the email and on the signs, they say, all right, call this number when you get here, and then we'll figure it out from there. And so I call the number. They say what can we help you with today? And it said in the email, just say curbside pickup. So I say curbside pickup. And then it says, okay, boop, 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 boop. And then it's please hold, and we'll put you through to the next available customer service representative. And I just waited on hold for 15 minutes. And there was some music, and then we're sorry, we're very busy right now. You guys know what it's like to wait on hold for a long time. And apparently I waited on hold so long that suddenly the phone just starts ringing. And I get the ringing, which I'm all right, this is either a good thing or a bad thing, right? It's a good thing if it's ringing and I'm about to be put through, or it's a bad thing that the system, I was on hold for so long that they're trying to kick me out to another part of the system. And then it rings and rings and rings, and no one picks up. And so I'm do I hang up and start over? I'm going to lose my spot in the queue. Super annoying. And so I ended up just holding tight. And after a minute and a half or 2 minutes of it literally just ringing, someone picks up, and I'm great, hi, I'm outside, I'm here for curbside pickup. And she just goes, oh, okay, I'll transfer you right over there. Boop, 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 boop. I'm I was already in that queue. And so now I'm back in the queue, and anyway, ended up waiting another 10 minutes, but then I literally just gave up and left because I had a 4 o'clock call I wanted to hop on. And then Helen and I had scheduled some puzzle time this afternoon, so I'll try again, I guess, when either I'm more prepared to wait longer, or maybe I can hit it at a time that's less busy. I don't know if 3:30 on a Monday afternoon is a busy time, but maybe early in the morning or late morning or early afternoon. I'm not sure what you guys think the best time to do that will be. But anyway, Target gets an A for curbside pickup. So far, Home Depot gets an F, but we'll see if we can redeem that on the second trip. Again, we don't need any of this stuff urgently, but I'd rather not have to wait a really long time to get these 4 small items that is supposed to be convenient, and have a convenient system for it. So they need to figure that out. Definitely frustrating there. And that was most of my day. I got a bike ride in this morning. Oh, since last night, one of my very exciting things was finishing up the Last Dance, the ESPN documentary about the 97-98 Bulls. Episodes 9 and 10 in the 10-part series came out last night. So good. I'm sad it's over. I was looking forward to it every week. It's really well made. So much fun. And it left me definitely wanting more, which is, I think, the greatest testament that I can give to it. But I am definitely sad that that's over, and I don't have more. Like have like an epilogue episode, talk about Michael Jordan's time with the Wizards, or I don't know, Phil Jackson with the Lakers, or Steve Kerr with the Golden State Warriors. Who knows? I just want more of this content. It was so good, and I loved it. All right, that was most of my day. Cold, sort of overcast day, a lot chillier than the last couple of days up here. Dogs still wanted to be outside, which is fine as long as it's not raining, so they're happy, I guess, but just one of those days. All right, so excited for tonight's cocktail. I'm going to be making a cocktail that I came across in this America's Test Kitchen cocktail cookbook titled How to Cocktail. Which is a pretty legit book. This is the book from which I got my sweet vermouth recipes from. I made a tonic syrup from it. Their whole thing is always, to kind of make approachable things that can be less approachable, and I feel like I'm okay with the I'm at a non-approachable level in my cocktail making. But even so, I don't think that it is sort of too remedial for me, and it's good. Anyway, I came across this recipe that looked really good to me called Alcachofa. Alcachofa, which is apparently the Spanish word for artichoke. And so, what does artichoke mean when we think of cocktails? Well, immediately we think of chinar, this amazing Amaro that is predominantly made from artichoke, among other ingredients. Remember, Amaros are bittersweet liqueurs. This, on the scale of sort of sweetness to bitterness, is it definitely has some sweetness to it. It's not one of the more bitter Amaros. It's very approachable entry-level Amaro. I love it. Huge Chinar fan. So when I came across this book, or this recipe in this book, I'm like, this looks really good. The other thing, as I'm sure you probably guessed by now, is when a cocktail has a name that's a Spanish word, it's probably going to have tequila in it. And indeed, it does. The Alcachofa is a tequila drink, which is going to be, sweetened up and rounded out with the chinar and some sweet vermouth, and that's it. A nice, simple 3-part cocktail. They say that you can optionally rim the glass with a chili rim sugar. I'm not going to do that, at least not this time. I want to just, try the cocktail on its own. It sounds really good, so I don't want to mess up my palate with any chili or sugar right now, but that's something to keep in mind. And when I review the cocktail at the end, we can say will this be enhanced with sugar or chili? But I don't know, generally sugar rims don't really do it for me. I love a salty rim. Salt will, open up your tongue, open up your taste buds. Sugar will just add more sweetness, so let's put the sweetness right in the drink, and I don't want a super sweet drink. The chili rim is interesting, get a little spice on there, but like I said, we're going to try it today without it, but we have a nice simple cocktail. So this is going to be 2 parts tequila, or 2 ounces tequila, 3/4 of an ounce of chinar, and just 1/4 of an ounce of sweet vermouth. A very small amount of sweet vermouth. I guess it's really just trying to bring up some of the sweetness without just going all chinar and all Amaro. I'm just going to grab my jiggers over here and get to building this. Since there isn't any citrus in this, we're going to build it in a mixing glass and mix it, not shake it. I'm going to start with my tequila, 2 ounces of this. This is just a Reposado tequila, 80 proof, just a kind of a standard, nothing special, not too expensive or anything like that. But remember, the Reposado is that that sort of middle ground tequila in terms of aging, where you have the Blanco tequila, which is the like super young, aged under a couple of months, and then this goes from the 2-month mark to 1 year. You have the Reposado tequila, and then anything over a year gets the Añejo designation. So next to Chinar, this is a new bottle of Chinar. I don't remember if I finished the old one. I couldn't find it, but I didn't look that hard either, so I might have 2 bottles of Chinar open now, which I'm not going to complain about, but I, again, love Chinar. I'll drink it just straight with a slice of orange, and in fact, I buy the big bottles now. These are the big 1-liter bottles. So good. I love the logo too, just that artichoke. Bam. So great. So great. So delicious. Only 16.5% ABV. So, like I said, just a really approachable Amaro there. And then, I don't think I've ever used so little vermouth in a cocktail before, but this is calling for just 1/4 of an ounce of our sweet vermouth. I'm using my homemade sweet vermouth. And, we'll see how it goes. The first time I make a new cocktail recipe, I always like to adhere to the specs as much as possible. And then the second or the third time, I can toy around to, fit the specific ingredients or my specific palette that I'm using. All right, add some ice. So this is like a deep brown color, which is kind of funny for not a whiskey drink, but that Chinar just, I think, brings that dark color to it that kind of overpowers everything else. But let's give this some chill and dilution. Great, and then we're going to garnish this with just a nice big thick slice of lemon peel. Oops, not that one. All right. So nice, the oils on top of there. Rub it around the edges. Smack it on top. All right, here we have the Alcachofa, La Alcachofa. Cheers. Oh, wow. Before taking a sip, I didn't really like imagine exactly what this would taste like with the tequila and the Chinar and the sweet vermouth. And so I didn't really have any expectations about what was going to come. And you could tell from my reaction that it was, a very pleasant surprise, but just like surprising about the tequila and the Chinar played together in such an interesting way. Wow. That's really good. I've had a ton of like Chinar and whiskey drinks, Chinar and rye. I feel like generally go together really well. You have something like a Black Manhattan or something like that with the Amaro and rye. But doing the Amaro with the tequila is just so nice, and such just an interesting, different flavor combination. This is just really, really cool. All right, this is fantastic. So this is another one of those drinks that you could like maybe consider a Negroni variation. I think it's a bit of a stretch, but right, a Negroni would be gin, Campari, sweet vermouth. This has the sweet vermouth. This has a different Amaro, not Campari. Although the Italians might fight you on whether to call Campari an Amaro or not. They would say an Amaro needs to be drink after dinner. But Campari isn't, but it's sort of the aperitivo. But anyway, Subby and the Cynar, they're at least cousins, if not brother and sister. And then just a different spirit with the tequila instead of the gin. But again, I feel like that's a bit of a stretch when you're like swapping out 2 of the 3 ingredients. The ratios are nothing like the original, Negroni ratios. So I would say it's like a very nice, interesting 3 ingredient cocktail that I really appreciate. That's super tasty. Yeah. That is quite good. You get some of that, just the bitterness from the Cynar really comes through. There's just enough sweetness to mellow out the tequila a little bit, so the tequila isn't overwhelming. And then, it's just a little bit of sweet vermouth, but I think it just rounds it out nicely in a way where if it weren't in there, you would like just have these 2 competing sort of like bitter and then the boozy tequila battling against each other. But the sweet vermouth just, I don't know, it rounds it out in a nice way that just smooths it and fills it out to a really, really nice cocktail. This is quite good. Alcachofa, and we also learned the Spanish word for artichoke. Who knew? Alcachofa. All right, so another pleasant surprise. Another shout out to this cookbook. Again, most of my cocktail books are from either really established bartenders that I really like and appreciate and follow, or from well-reputed bars that have a strong reputation in the cocktail industry. And especially the cocktail renaissance of the last 2 decades. And the only reason I bought this is because I'm such a big America's Test Kitchen fan. And so as they were developing this book, I followed them on Instagram and, thought they seemed to be doing all the right things in terms of not watering down the best practices in bartending too much for the home cook. And I think even the fact that they have recipes for making your own vermouths and making your own bitters and all of that is a testament to that. And they've done a nice job overall with this book. And there's some classic cocktails, but then also some interesting riffs and different takes on different cocktails. So I'd recommend it. I wouldn't recommend this probably if you're looking to get into cocktails. I wouldn't recommend this as like your first cocktail cookbook, but I feel like it fits it serves a purpose that my other books don't, right? And there's some new twists or new takes on things that are explained well and have some good ideas that I don't necessarily get in my other cookbooks or my other cocktail books. So I'd recommend it. So here we have the Alcachofa. The rest of my evening, just making dinner. We're trying a new baked falafel recipe. We'll see how that goes. Along with some homemade pita, homemade gluten-free pita. We'll also see how that goes. So we're going to try to avoid doing takeout. We have only done takeout like once a week over the last 10 weeks or so, but ended up doing it twice this weekend. One kind of as scheduled, our favorite Indian restaurant. We got Indian takeout on Saturday night, and then yesterday we just kind of lost track of time and ended up ordering some salads from Sweet Green. But it was nice to have some veggies from a good salad. But yeah, I will let you know how it goes, Megan. I will keep you updated on it's a baked falafel, so we'll see. And then it's supposed to be like a quick pita. So they're like, all right, like start the falafel and now make this like quick 15-minute pita. And like I said, it's from a gluten-free cookbook, which can sometimes be hit or miss, but I'm hopeful. and excited because I do love falafel. I love a good falafel, and excited for some falafel this evening.
It's 5 o'clock. Why not have a drink with me?
Falafel. All right. Have a good night, everybody.